the Bible speaks of God's intervention in the issues of his people. The story of Hezekiah and his numerous enemies is one of the greatest examples of such. Hezekiah was a man who was the polar opposite of his terrible father Ahaz. During his reign, he received the uncommon honor of doing what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his forefather David had done. Now it came about in the 3rd year of Hosea, the son of Elah, king of Israel, Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, became king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. Hezekiah did right in the sight of the Lord in accordance with everything that David, his father, had done. 2 Kings 18 verses 1-3. Hezekiah was one of the few kings who abolished the high places of worship. He also cut down the idolatrous Asherah poles. Furthermore, he destroyed the bronze snake that Moses created centuries before, which was known as Nushan, Numbers 21:8-9. The Lord said to Moses, "Make a snake and put it up on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live." So Moses made a bronze snake and put it up on a pole. Then, when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, they lived. What a pity that this object that God had used to deliver his people had become a source of worship. For these and other reasons, Hezekiah was regarded as a king who stood apart from and above the other kings of Judah in his adherence to God's commands. 2 Kings 18 verses 4-5. He removed the high places of pagan worship, broke down the images, memorial stones, and cut down the Asherim. He also crushed to pieces the bronze serpent that Moses had made, for until those days, the Israelites had burned incense to it, and it was called Nushan, a bronze sculpture. Hezekiah trusted in and relied confidently on the Lord, the God of Israel, so that after him, there was no one like him among all the kings of Judah, nor among those who were before him. 2 Kings 18 verses 6-7. After reading about the unfaithfulness and heinous actions of so many of Israel's and Judah's kings, King Hezekiah is a breath of fresh air. He prospered wherever he went because the Lord was with him. 2 Kings 18 verses 6-16. The Lord was with Hezekiah. He was successful wherever he went and rebelled against the king of Assyria and refused to serve him. He defeated the Philistines as far as Gaza, the most distant city in its borders from the isolated lookout tower to the populous fortified city. Now, in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th of Hosea, the son of Elah, king of Israel, Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, went up against Samaria and besieged it. At the end of 3 years, they captured it. In the 6th year of Hezekiah, which was the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Israel, Samaria was taken. Then the king of Assyria sent Israel into exile to Assyria and put them in Hala and on the Habor, the river of the city of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes because they did not obey the voice of the Lord their God but broke his covenant. Everything that Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded, and they would not listen nor do it. In the 14th year of King Hezekiah, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, went up against all the fortified cities of Judah, except Jerusalem, and captured them. Then Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent word to the king of Assyria at Lachish, saying, "I have done wrong, withdraw from me. Whatever you impose on me, I will bear." So the king of Assyria imposed on Hezekiah, king of Judah, a tribute tax of 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house, temple of the Lord, and in the treasuries of the king's house, palace. At that time, Hezekiah cut away the gold framework from the doors of the temple of the Lord and from the doorposts which he had overlaid and gave it to the king of Assyria. Sennacherib, the successor of Shalmaneser, the conqueror of Israel, was the Assyrian king Hezekiah would face. Unfortunately for Judah, things did not go as planned. Sennacherib attacked and conquered all of Judah's fortified cities, leaving only Jerusalem. At that point, Hezekiah may have concluded that he had grossly miscalculated the situation. He admitted to Sennacherib, "I have done wrong," and offered a ransom to keep his people from suffering the same fate as Israel. The demand was enormous, and Hezekiah sent all the silver and gold he could find, even snatching gold from the temple. However, things were about to get worse. God would circle the Assyrians around Jerusalem to put Hezekiah's faith to the test and to demonstrate his own mighty power to his people. Sennacherib either didn't think Hezekiah's ransom was enough, or he was looking for a reason to attack Jerusalem and complete his conquest of Judah. He sent his messengers to the walls of Jerusalem with a message to demoralize the inhabitants and instigate surrender. 2 Kings 18 verses 17 to 37. These messengers spoke in Hebrew so that the people on the walls could understand and be dismayed. They tried to undermine Hezekiah's leadership, suggesting that he was misleading them. They claimed that trusting in Egypt, which was unreliable, would not save them. They even asserted that the Lord himself had sent Sennacherib to destroy them because they had angered him. Hezekiah's representatives requested the Assyrians to speak in Aramaic instead of Hebrew, as they didn't want the people to hear such discouraging words. But the Assyrian messengers refused, wanting to demoralize the defenders of Jerusalem. Despite the intense pressure from Sennacherib and his taunting messengers, Hezekiah remained steadfast in his faith. He went up to the house of the Lord and spread Sennacherib's letter before the Lord, seeking his guidance and intervention. 2 Kings 19 verses 14 to 19. Hezekiah poured out his heart in prayer, acknowledging the might and sovereignty of God. Isaiah, the prophet, sent a reassuring message to Hezekiah, assuring him that God had heard his prayer and seen the insults of Sennacherib. The message contained a powerful promise from God: "I will defend this city and save it, for my sake and for the sake of David my servant." 2 Kings 19 verse 34. The Lord would not let the Assyrians conquer Jerusalem. That night, the angel of the Lord went out and struck down 185,000 Assyrian soldiers in their camp. When the people of Jerusalem awoke, they found the once threatening army decimated, with the mighty Sennacherib forced to retreat and return to Nineveh. News of the miraculous deliverance spread throughout the region, causing fear and awe among the surrounding nations. Hezekiah's trust in the Lord had not been misplaced, and the people of Judah recognized the divine intervention that had saved their city. Hezekiah's reign continued to be marked by prosperity and spiritual renewal. The king dedicated himself to the service of the Lord, instituting religious reforms and leading the people in the worship of the one true God. The city of Jerusalem thrived under his leadership, and the people enjoyed a period of peace and stability. As Hezekiah reflected on the events that had unfolded, he continued to seek the Lord with humility and gratitude. The story of his faith and the miraculous deliverance became a testament to the enduring power of trust in God, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. Hezekiah's legacy endured beyond his lifetime, inspiring future generations to remain faithful to the Lord. The account of his reign became a cherished part of the sacred scriptures, reminding believers of the importance of unwavering trust in God's promises. Hezekiah's victory over the Assyrian threat became a pivotal moment in the history of Judah, and his reputation as a righteous and faithful king grew even stronger. The people marveled at the tangible evidence of God's protection, and Hezekiah took the opportunity to reinforce the importance of following the ways of the Lord. In the aftermath of the miraculous deliverance, Hezekiah undertook further initiatives to strengthen the spiritual foundation of his kingdom. He convened a solemn assembly in Jerusalem, calling upon the priests and Levites to purify themselves and consecrate the house of the Lord. The people gathered for a joyful celebration, offering sacrifices and expressing gratitude for the divine intervention that had saved them from the Assyrian threat. Hezekiah's commitment to eliminating idolatry and false worship intensified. He extended his efforts beyond the borders of Judah, reaching out to the remnants of the northern kingdom of Israel. He sent messengers throughout Ephraim and Manasseh, inviting the scattered tribes to return to the true worship of God in Jerusalem. Some responded to this call, and the reunification of the divided kingdoms became a symbol of spiritual renewal. During this time, Hezekiah also directed the repair and reopening of the temple doors that he had reluctantly stripped of gold to appease the Assyrians. The people contributed generously to restore the temple to its former glory, reflecting their renewed commitment to the Lord. The reforms instituted by Hezekiah had a profound impact on the spiritual landscape of Judah. The people embraced a renewed sense of faith, and the influence of idolatrous practices waned. The king's dedication to righteousness and his reliance on divine guidance set a standard for future leaders in Judah. As the years passed, Hezekiah faced other challenges, both internal and external. Yet, his unwavering trust in the Lord and commitment to righteous governance remained unshaken. Hezekiah's reign became a beacon of hope, illustrating that a nation could thrive when led by a king who sought God's will and trusted in his promises. Hezekiah's story continued to be told and retold, not only within the borders of Judah but also among neighboring nations. The account of the Assyrian siege and the subsequent deliverance resonated as a testament to the power of faith, turning Hezekiah into a legendary figure whose legacy endured for generations to come. Don't forget to like and share this video, and if you have not subscribed to the Eternal Wisdom channel, please do so now. Until next time, stay blessed.